Bullis is lining up that centre-half forward as he played part of the game last week.
Umpire Mark McKenzie starts the match here at Princes Park. Ground in reasonably good condition despite the very heavy rain we've had right throughout the week. Turnbull up high, past Broderick. Umpire's already blown the whistle. It's going to be a free kick, and it's going to West Coast.
Bond on Kemp.
There's some Banfield picking up Campbell.
Evans to take the free kick. Premiership player with West Coast. From the middle, which is probably the best part of the ground, Turner and Brennan. Waterman rides his opponent into the ground, and the umpire will come in and bounce it.
Michael Brennan, sorry Pete, to enjoy a roll up forward too, virtually as a full forward there with Mitchell White at fullback on Edwards.
Bounce too high, says the umpire. It's going to be a Richmond free kick. And speaking of Edwards, Edwards is going to take the free kick inside his own 50-metre line. Out to Duncan Cavilway at right half back. There was some talk that he wasn't going to line up today, but he's definitely out there. Guy McKenna, the surest ball handler in the business. Back to Jakovic, a best and fairest winner.
Great smother.
One of his rare mistakes. Kicks into the man on the mark down there.
Yeah, not a mistake. It was a great smother, Peter.
Naish loves a goal. Left foot snap. Oh, what a goal it was! Sensational start times. And it all started with that smother.
Yes, they all look set to create there from half-back as they normally do between McKenna and Jakovic, but Naish just fantastic. Here the smother comes, and the follow-up just kept running. 2-on-1 out there. Kick kept in play, or the ball kept in play with that quick kick. Naish running on, and what a great little goal around the corner. White saying he may have touched that, but the umpire saying no. Ideal start.
Well, you'd think that Richmond would have to be at least 3 or 4 goals in front. The flag's on top of the scoreboard, blowing quite strongly down to that left-hand end. So Richmond with the breeze at their back. The Eagles get the ball towards half forward, but a good safe chest mark taken by Prescott. Gets the hand pass away to Tape. Tape off the left foot. Making good ground and taking the mark on his chest is Bullis. Doesn't he look a different guy, Paul Bullis, with the short hair? Bullis goes up towards the 50-metre line, punched away by White. Ball rebounds for Daffy. Daffy to the goal front. Well, McKenna was fortunate he got his foot to it. Could have slipped through there with a chance for Neil, but David Hart mops up, kicks it too far. Have a look at the Richmond fans. They're out there. They told us what was going on. The boundary umpire signals that it's a free kick to be taken by Bond.
It's a poor kick for David Hart. His quality was looking for distance to push it out toward the wing.
Bond, a long kick. It's within 40 metres of goal now for Richmond. Back there is Worsfold. Slips, so you can get a bit of an idea that even though this ground looks in very good condition, there are some soft spots, as Dipper has already previewed. Particularly on this left half-forward flank area, you can see a lot of slipping and sliding marks from the reserves game. Deer and Turnbull, a struggle there. Taken away by Kemp. Kemp kicks the Eagles back towards the wing.
Norm Smith medalist towards that location, off the hands of the pack. Burke tracks it over the boundary line. Brett Heddy sounding off to the umpire, looking for a free kick.
Umpire's reprimanding Brett Heddy too.
It's the weather this afternoon. Not bad for winter, but as I said, we've had a lot of rain this week, and it has been rather windy. Turnbull and Deer. Pike, quick kick from a standing start. Burke to the front, gets it away from Hines and out of bounds. Youngster, son of one of the all-time greats at Tigerland, and I don't use the words without true meaning, because Francis Burke
now considers himself to be David Burke's father, not David Francis' son.
If you're having a bet, though, the odds. Bond just can't quite handle it. It's out of bounds. Broderick, going to be a Tiger free kick out there. Bond again. That's the defensive side of the ground. Bullis at the back of the pack. McKenna with the gloves on, out of bounds. Neil looking for a free kick for out of bounds deliberately, but they don't seem to pay that too often these days. And it's out of bounds at right half forward for Richmond, about 70 metres from their goal.
Yeah, a lot of people thought that McKenna would line up on Daffy, but Worsfold has that job with McKenna picking up Neil.
Deer knocks that one to the front of the pack. Now a chance for Campbell. Off the side of the boot, Edwards at the back. The Eagles with the numbers. Here's Daffy. He too loves a goal. Couldn't quite get boot to ball that time. Rushed through by Djakovic for a minor score. And was it rushed through? Very hastily done. So the second score of the match to Richmond, and the Tigers leading by 7 points.
Just saw on the screen there a minute ago, Ross McKenna's played 158 games. He wouldn't have missed too many, would he, since he started with West Coast?
Not really, Robert. No, he's been pretty good at playing through with a few injuries, yes.
Yeah, terrific player. In your preview, mentioned that as well. Campbell, dumped by McKenna, and the ball spills for a throw-in. Richmond lead. They've kicked 1-1. West Coast, well, the closest they've been is up towards the 50-metre line. Throw in. Greg Deere gets his left hand to it. Taken away by Turnbull. Couldn't clear the congestion. Matthew Knights gets past, then goes long. Magnificent kick at the back. Bullis gets his hand to it. Couldn't hang on to it. And it's forced over for throw in. Right forward pocket for the Tigers.
What is the wind advantage, Ross, just looking at those flags?
Well, if you look at the flags, you'd have to say around 3 goals. But of course, you don't rely on the breeze to kick you the goals, but certainly favouring the Richmond end, no question, Pete.
Throw in. Ruck contest. Ball spills for Hart. Hart goal. That could be penalised, couldn't it? Well, I would think that from what I've seen over the last 3 weeks, the umpires have decided that deliberate out of bounds is not shelved.
Well, if you're going to have it, here it is.
Oh. Well, that's deliberate.
He was saying he's going for distance, but not right.
Well, Peter McKenna would have pulled his chair out, I think. It'll be out of bounds, will it? No. Picked up just inside the line there by White. And the Eagles will be able to run it out once more. Worsfold's kick. That's out of bounds on the full. Richmond free kick to be taken by Jamie Tape. In towards left half forward. Campbell to Knights. Inboard to the run of Maxfield. Maxfield kicks on the run. Oh, that is a gem. What a goal by G. He's quick, isn't he?
Gee, that was fantastic running provided by Maxfield.
Yes, and John Worsfold just chastising himself behind play. They're realising the kick to Waterman was just poor, obviously, as it goes out of bounds in the full. Good mark by Campbell, and then quick hands by he. And then Knights has always been creative. Maxfield running away from Paul Simmons. Did that very well.
One of the goals of the round by Stuart Maxfield. 2 great snaps for the Tigers. A free kick going West Coast. Turnbull will take it at midfield. They haven't crossed the 50-metre line yet, or just once. But against the breeze, Brennan up towards full forward. Kick didn't quite carry to him. Richmond defenders pouncing on it with alacrity. And it's going to be a ball up just inside 50. At about right half forward for the West Coast Eagles.
Is there anything that the West Coast confront here at Optus that could prove difficult for them, Ross? Is there something that you could mention, maybe?
Not really. They've had some good games here, Robbo, and a couple of ordinary ones. But Richmond, it's not a familiar ground for them either, Robbo, is it?
No, that's fair enough.
It's an odd setup, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, a free kick at half-back to be awarded to the Tigers, to be taken by their midfielder. No, it's not Paul Broderick's kick. It's David Burke's kick. No. Well, now the umpire's happy. It is Burke's kick. A wobbly punt kick by David Burke out towards the wing, punched away by Bullis. Oh, terrific stuff by Prescott. Now that's the sort of spirit that the Tigers are playing on at the moment. Great performance there. And he takes the free kick and gets a good kick. And if there's a wind advantage, have a look at that. Safely marked at fullback by White. Hand pass, just a little astray, but Hart was able to mop up. Little kick. Really, Campbell should mop this up. Campbell for the Tigers, outside 50. He may go for goal. Campbell's kick. Magnificent kick by Campbell. Another goal to the Tigers.
3 great goals. Wouldn't see better.
Yes, and again, the pressure of the Tigers forward area, putting the Eagles' defence under enormous pressure here. White taking the option with an ordinary handball that puts Hart under pressure. Then he looked for distance to go along that boundary line. Couldn't get it quite close enough. Obviously concerned about his previous kick. Went out of bounds in the full. Gave Campbell a chance to set up a goal, have a shot. The latter was just outstanding.
And outstanding, the word to describe the 3 goals we've seen from Richmond. Turnbull. Now Kemp from Turley. Turley again. Knights off the ground. It'll be a bounce or a ball up. Just inside 50, and Richmond fans delirious with their start here.
Actually, a pretty good crowd, Peter. You mentioned it in the preview about the build-up, but I think there's a few people coming at the right at the death knock.
Probably couldn't get into the MCG. Only 2 games on, both fantastic ones. Certainly on paper, Deer, bolo punch. And he got it up towards the end of the square too. Bullis had it, lost it. Evans, good tackle. Kemp on the run from midfield. Kemp out towards left half forward. Turley might get there. No. Ball jarred free. Pike. Home to ball. And Heady now. We had a few words for one of the umpires earlier. Be interesting to see how he goes kicking into this wind. The Robert Heatley stand will shield a lot of the breeze.
Tell you what, it's strong, that breeze.
Still a long kick though, Pete, although he's such a terrific player. Brett Heady, outstanding skills and commitment, knows where to go. Big day for Kellaway, but he's a perfect opponent really for Brett Heady.
Anyway, it'll give us a good idea. Kicking from right on 50, Brett Heady. And is it over the line or is it a mark? It's one behind, so that's the Eagles' first score, a minor one, kicked by Brett Heady. Getting the distance from 50, the difference back to an even 3 goals. Turner will kick in, Knights makes the lead.
Turner goes pretty well straight down the ground. Knights giving away centimetres there, and the mark is taken by Turnbull. Turnbull for West Coast. Player on his own in the pocket is Evans. Can he get that far with the kick? We'll soon see. Getting back Bauer, does well. Richmond working hard at half-back to try and clear. Kick off the ground, Maxfield. Gather by Tate. Bond is on the end of the hand pass. Oh, look at the running by Maxfield. That is fantastic. Maxfield's kick to the goal front. Back goes Naish with Hart. Mitchell White there to help out. He'll give away a behind. And another score to Richmond, albeit a behind.
I thought that was a mark.
Interesting too, Rob, on that half-forward area for the Eagles. 3 Eagles players sat back and waited for the other to go for the ball. Richmond players came straight through, picked it up. They nearly get a goal out of it. Some hesitation there, uncertainty from the Eagles forwards.
You thought Hart's ball was a mark, Peter?
I did.
Yes, it perhaps could have nearly been paid. The Richmond half-forwards now working to try and keep it in. Tate is the player. Jakovic finds some space, gets it to Simmons, and the Eagles are away from half-back.
Half forwards where they're breaking down. Matera, that's a pretty handy looking bandage on that left knee, isn't it? Matera's kick holds up into the breeze. Strong mark the ball.
It's a great mark. Crowd suggesting that maybe Brennan had hands on it first. I think it was Brennan in that same contest. Matera took a while to get the ball forward here. Yeah, I think it was Brennan early.
Yes, correct, but he's been paid the grab.
Line ball, Robbo.
Oh, dear. I don't want to see another replay of it, Ross.
A little bit closer than Brett Heady was, but not much, certainly.
Good kick.
That's not a bad sort of a roost. It might be a goal. Looks pretty good from here. Yes, it is. So first goal to the West Coast Eagles, kicked by Jason Ball, taking their score to 1-1, trailing Richmond 3-2.
Yes, they found it tough to get over half forward so far in the game. We'd be interested to see how many times that they've been inside 50. Would be only 2 or 3, where Richmond have been there on numerous occasions. And Ball, perhaps a dubious mark in some respects, as Brennan certainly had first hands on it, but the umpire in the right posse, we can't change that decision.
Very good kick by Jason Ball to register the Eagles' first goal into the breeze. They still trail. Richmond are 3-2. Eagles are 1-1. And from that ruck contest, the umpire's going to have to do it all again. He throws it in the air, so that gives you an idea of the moisture in the middle of the ground here. Trying to get clear was Banfield. Turley dispossessed by Broderick. A contest there. The ball feeds out the back to Broderick. Broderick off his right foot. Safe mark taken by Hart. Hart's had quite a few possessions. Handball away to Mitchell White. In turn, goes wide to Waterman. Waterman's got a player in short, and that player is Kemp. Kemp and Bond matching up at this stage.
The Bond's now picking up Pike. In fact, Robert, they've changed over.
Okay. Kemp's kick. Look for ball. David Burke kicks it across his left shoulder.
That's casual, wasn't it?
Just in front of Matthew Knights, it bounces over for a throw-in on centre wing. Deer and Turnbull. The ruck combatants. Deer gets the front posse and gets his left fist to it. Little tap by Prescott. Now Evans gets it to Pike. Pike's kick across his shoulder. Knocked on by Kemp. Kick clear again by the Richmond defence. Kellaway in towards the forward pocket. And McKenna kneeled appealing for a free kick. not forthcoming, and boundary umpire will throw it in.
20 plays 7 at Optus Oval. The right forward pocket for the Tigers. In fact, a little bit further out than that, right on 50. Deere slaps it down. There he is again, Callaway. Marking contest. None can take it. Hart tries to get front position. Couldn't do so. Maxfield, who kicked a great goal earlier. Hand pass comes out the front. Flipped up to Campbell. Just a little bit too far for him. And again, the Eagles with numbers. Hart tries to push it in front of him. Djakovic, or Ball it was, with a good bump off the back. Now it comes to Tape. Centering kick. Great footy. Great mark. Deere. 85 Gardner medal. He won. Played in 4 night premierships with Hawthorn before changing colours. 168 games, and a big deep breath for Greg Deere. He'd need to aim for the left goal post. Strong northwesterly. It was blowing gale force in Melbourne early yesterday.
Tell you what, he's got a heart as big as himself, Greg Deere.
Had a few injuries in his time, but he still butters up from 48 metres. He kicks and he goes. So 4 goals to the Tigers, 4-2, and the Eagles 1-1.
Listen, again, David Hart just not having a lot of luck today. He was the player to force that ball forward out of defence, and unable to pick it up, just knocked it towards the 50-metre line. As we see this again, he chased it, couldn't quite grab it, knocks it forward. Then Chris Waterman's man, see him there on screen. That's Jamie Tape to the advantage, and then Deere just drifted down sufficiently enough to take that grab.
So from the centre bounce, the West Coast Eagles force the ball up towards half forward, where Matera appeals for a free kick against Bauer. The umpire will bounce. Our umpires today are Goldspink, McKenzie and Rich. Kicked forward by Hines. Into the path of Turley. Coming down from full forward was big Jason Ball. Not clear by Turner. Heady tries to get it clear. Oh, that's a throw. Campbell, let go. Well, let's not have another look at that. Now Richmond will get a free kick. And it'll go to David Burke. What did you think of Campbell's little flip through? Throw? Well, when we've got 3 umpires, how do they go begging those decisions?
Well, don't ask me.
That's unbelievable. Well, anyway,
be proud of that.
The game goes on, and David Burke gets good distance. So what a great mark that was by Bullis, not paid. So maybe the square up there, the West Coast Eagles get the ball back towards the centre of the ground. Nearly the gather there by Turnbull. Now the chance for Kemp. Kemp's kick is across the half-forward line. Oh, terrific mark. When you're going back knowing that the odds are against you, but Bauer lets himself down. He took a great mark. Then he was lucky because Matera was right onto him. But Bauer will take the free kick. Gets the handball away. Broderick. Kick wide towards the wing. Knights. Kemp's covered some territory there.
Be a good duel that, Robbo, won it, Knights and Kemp.
My word, 2 very, very talented players.
Yeah, Turley's got Broderick. Bond now picking up Evans.
Boundary throw it on centre wing. Deere does well. Knights had it, lost it. Waterman's quick kick, nearly out of bounds on the full. A couple of bounces and over the line it goes, next to the interchange gates. Gaining some 25 metres for his side from Chris Waterman. Eagles under siege here at the moment in the first quarter, but against the breeze, Richmond have looked pretty good, despite quite a few injured players out of the side today. Kick off the ground from Pike. Gains another few metres, and it beats Nathan Bauer over the boundary line. Another throw in, this time in front of the George Harris Social Club stand here at Carlton. Burke at the back, Hines in front. Turley. Ball jarred free in that tackle, and it's going to be a bounce right on 50 once more.
Yes, you can argue he could have got a free kick there, Jelly, because the ball spilled free, then he was thrown to ground. If Matera tackled Bauer before, they were similar sorts of tackles, so adjudication by the umpires varying there.
Centre breaks. Broderick going nowhere. Burke's quick kick across his body. Maxfield, who kicked a magnificent goal earlier in the quarter. The Richmond defence has been pretty good so far, and that's taking it out of bounds once more. That came from Jamie Tape. And again, it will be thrown in this time next to the interchange gates on centre wing.
I thought Maxwell could have got a free kick there. I thought he was pushed in the back by Simmons.
And the free kick's 8-2 in favour of Richmond. The Tigers with the wind in this first quarter. Hart, well, he's been under siege as well in the first term. Knights, good hand pass. Maxfield, clever knock on. Djakovic from a standing start, or one step, kicks it back to the centre wing position and off the hands of the pack and out of bounds. 6 3/4 minutes left in the opening term. It's been a good one for Richmond. 4-2 with the wind against the West Coast 1-1, and once more a throw-in. 26 plays 7.
A fair opinion of Prescott matching up on Don Pike, one of the Eagles' key players. Ball forced over for another throw-in. Jamie Tape.
Yeah, Robbo, he played on Paul Kelly a couple of weeks ago in Sydney. Prescott did a pretty good job there, although Kelly was still fairly influential, I thought.
Centre wing, boundary throw in, Turnbull. Now it's Kemp gets it to Waterman. Waterman's kick towards half forward. In front, Turner has marked, and he'll let Jason Ball know all about that, I would think, because it was a pretty good effort by Scotty Turner. First of all, to get front posse, and then control the chest mark, which came in rather awkwardly. The kick goes wide to right half forward, out in front of Bullis. In an awkward position, he brought it down to the front, which was important. Neal gets it away from McKenna, gathered by Bullis. Still Richmond have the key position. Neal, handball clear. Chance now for McKenna, gives away a bit of ground, goes back to Hart. Hart from half back, kicks it high. It holds up in the breeze. It'll land on centre wing, knocked away by Burke. Good recovery. His second go at that was excellent, and he forced it clear for a throw-in. Richmond doing well in the first term. They're probably at their right line at this stage. 4-2-26. Lead West Coast 1-1-7. And we've got 5 3/4 minutes left in the first term. Evans gathers, gets the hand pass, back to Kemp. Kemp goes high with the left foot. Good mark, terrific mark. Only 18 years of age, David Burke. Callaway receiving the hand pass, kicks to half forward. Hart probably should have nearly marked that. Able to recover. Oh, Jakovic, unsure ball handling. Chance for Daffy. Can he kick Richmond's 5th goal? Lobs it in the square. Edwards couldn't control it. Mitchell White gives away a rush behind. So the Tigers proceed. They're 4-3. Michael Malthouse having a little refresher. West Coast 1-1. The margin 20 points in favour of the Tigers.
Kick out to half back. McKenna and Bullis. And McKenna with the gloves takes the mark. One of the surest ball handlers in the game. Guy McKenna goes short on the defensive side of the ground. Oh, shot. Banfield was never going to get there. And Wayne Campbell will take the free kick on right centre wing. But that wind is pretty strong. Certainly we can make excuses for them today. The duck, Daffy, couldn't do it. Edwards, quick hand pass. Daffy again, right foot snap. Oh, don't tell me he's kicked it. He has. Well, 5 great goals to Richmond. 4 snaps and a terrific goal by Deere from 50. It's their quarter so far.
Yeah, and again, Pete, just some unsure ball handling by Eagles defence there, particularly some players normally very good in that area. And Daffy becomes the 5th Richmond goal scorer in this quarter, so they're sharing it around, which is good. Yeah, Hines has come off for the West Coast, and Godden's gone into a forward area to be picked up by David Burke. Bit of a mismatch there. I'm sure there'll be a change from Malthouse shortly.
And a real struggle from that centre bounce. Chris Bond, there's the Chris Lewis in the foreground, and the player who has just come off, David Hines, on the bench for the West Coast. The umpire bounces, so the actual centre area where the centre circle is quite firm. Evans tackle, dispossessed. Play goes on. Still in dispute. Evans has got it. Tape's tackle was okay. Umpire Dennis Rich decides on a bounce.
Terrific second and third efforts there by Evans. He really knew that his handball wasn't so good first up. Followed up and just kept the ball in the area.
The umpire prepared to just throw it in the air. Kick forward by Broderick. To half forward, mark taken by David Hart.
Well, David Hart gathering plenty of possessions, but let's face it, the ball has been down there one heck of a lot. Jakovic's kick out to centre wing.
Great mark.
Terrific mark. Bauer plays on. Goes inboard, centering kick for Knights. Not really much closer to goal. Campbell telling him to go long. Oh, straight back to Bauer. He did well on the run. Can he kick another one? Just missed. He was 20 metres clear of his nearest opponent down there, Bauer. Unbelievable. 5-4 to 1-1.
They got clear, Pete, because Matera had to run across, having been outmarked by Bauer, ran across to pick up Knight, stand on the mark there, and of course Bauer saw that, drifted down to the 50-metre line, and gee, nearly got a goal.
It was terrific vision by Matthew Knights to sum that up too.
Mitchell White's kick. Turnbull up one-handed. Back it comes to Broderick. Naish. Flip-on came from Neild originally. He kicked a great goal earlier. This is a pretty tough effort, especially with that northwester. Gives it plenty of room. It's coming back. Hit the post. Well, a little bit of local knowledge there for Chris Naish. He really did the right thing with that. Let the breeze do the work, and only one behind. 1-1, he's kicked out at the Tigers' tally of 5-5. West Coast 1-1, 35 plays 7.
Well, Johnny Northey hasn't tried any tricks. He's got the same guys that were mentioned in the paper on the bench still. Rogers, Miranda and Jurika. And West Coast get the ball clear to half-back where Evans has got it. He's prepared to give the hand pass away to Waterman in a little spot of bother. In more than a little spot of bother. Evans gets in there to help him out. And a good kick by Tony Evans. Gets about 45 metres. Lands between centre and half-forward. Now Godden's tackle is deemed as illegal. So the free kick will go to Burke. Godden not happy, but David Burke, the recipient of the free kick. In some spaces, Bauer receives the hand pass, then prepared to bounce. Goes towards half-forward, in front Bullis. The ball spills to the back. Worsfold is there to mop up for the Eagles. Across half-back, his kick goes out towards the wing. The gatherers by ball, gives away a little bit of ground. It's Pike's kick, lands at half-forward. Going down a long way from full-back was Turner, and excellently done. The combination there between the Richmond defenders was perfect. The kick forward by Prescott, nearly marked there by Bullis. Tigers have got a chance. The free kick, what was it, deemed as a throw maybe?
Yeah, and also I think just a bit of in the back too against Jakovic by Bullis. So
Jakovic with the ball, goes wide and finds Jason Ball.
From left half-back. Ball's kick drops a little bit short. Heady was the target. Flipped out to Evans. Now perhaps they can do something. Turnbull gives it to Godden. He kicked into the man in front of him. Still he goes. Prescott over the top. Does the mopping up work for Richmond. Long kick with the breeze. And fine mark taken by Bond. Right on centre wing. Right on the boundary line. Bond's kick to half forward. Bullis and Jakovic. Worsfold at the back. Hart in trouble. Worsfold goes for the boundary line. Won't quite get there. Jakovic. Oh, shocker. He'll have to go again. Shot at goal by Naish. Is off target and he's kicked another behind. Chris Naish. 1 goal, 2. Pretty good effort.
Gee, you wouldn't worry about which way the wind's blowing. They've had 11 scoring shots to 2. The Tigers.
Now, the wind is not the key factor at the moment.
No,
it's a factor, but not the key factor.
They're just playing too well at this stage.
5-6 to 1-1. Waterman makes a lead. He's coming longer to Simmons, who went up one-handed. They're hard to mark like that. Kicked off the ground by Kemp. He'll have to chase his own work. Evans gets there first. Plays some little soccer tactics. Prescott into the back of him. Knights. Grabbed by Kemp. Still he goes, Knights. Evans. Back to Simmons. Kick up towards centre half forward. They need a goal here, the Eagles. Turner goes off the ground and gets about 35 metres with the kick. It's a foot race. Campbell will have to get back. He does so. He did well. Bauer from a standing start into space at half forward. Naish offloaded by Hart.
Good bump by David Hart and finds the safety of the line. So we'll have a throw in on centre wing outer side. 5-6 Richmond, 1-1 West Coast. The goal for the West Coast was kicked by Jason Ball, and the Tigers are all singles. Well, the Tiger fans are pretty happy with that first term, and no wonder. They lead at quarter time. They've kicked 5-6-36. West Coast are 1-1-7. West Coast, as I mentioned, the goal kicker Jason Ball. The singles for Richmond, Daffy, Deer, Campbell, Naish and Maxfield. And Johnny Northey would be pretty happy at this stage.
I think he would be, despite the Tigers' bad record against the West Coast. They've won the last 10. And in the closing moments of the quarter, Campbell from Banfield nearly had his head taken off. It would have finished in the Royal Melbourne Hospital, and so would he perhaps if it had connected. So in the end, a pretty good quarter by Richmond, but early days yet as John Northey comes down to address his side. Likewise, Mick Malthouse. We'll take a break from Optus Oval. 36 plays 7 back after this. So we start the second quarter. Richmond leading 5-6. The West Coast 1-1. The Eagles, though, with the advantage of the breeze in this term, they'll have to do something with it. Kemp out of the congestion to half forward. Kellaway underneath it. Punchaway didn't quite clear the pack. Now here's a chance for Godden. Came on in the first quarter. Godden goes at goal, and he's kicked a ripper. And that's just what Mick Malthouse would have ordered at the quarter-time huddle. A quick goal, and the Eagles come up to 2-1, trailing Richmond 5-6.
Well, you wouldn't want it any better, Pete, would you, after the quarter-time huddle? Straight out of the centre through Kemp. And then Godden just mopping up. He had the option to handball to Hetty, who was free in front of him, but did the right thing because Hetty would have to turn then under a bit of pressure. The kick was good. Ideal start. Free kicks at the moment, 10-3 in favour of Richmond.
36 plays 13. So the Eagles, the perfect start to the second term. Up high was Turnbull. Standing his ground was Greg Deere. The ball spills now for Burke. Gets the handball to Bond. Bond off the left foot. Gets reasonable distance across his right shoulder. Goes to the back. Bullis gather. Handball into the path of Maxfield. Couldn't control the footy. Naish tried to get the hand pass clear. Oh, down goes Daffy. Broderick tries to get the ball clear. In there is Simmons and Jakovic for the West Coast. And the ball will be thrown in the air, one would think. 50 metres from the Richmond goal. Glenn Jakovic, the last to regain his footing. And there you see the umpire quite prepared now to throw it straight up. Greg Deere, the ruck work. Evans, ball spills off Deere's foot. Now chance for Jamie Tate. Shrugs the tackle. Kick forward by Greg Deere to half forward. Goes straight past Bullis. Tidied up by McKenna. Handball finds Waterman. Waterman goes long. He was in an awkward position in kicking style-wise. Strong play now by Prescott. He's playing a grand game for Richmond across half-back. And the mark taken by Bullis. 50 metres from goal for the Tigers. Tate prepared to run, but McKenna alert. The kick in short. Too short there for Edwards. Back goes Mitchell White. Handball to Waterman. Get rid of it quickly. He does. Eventually, it finishes with Pike. Pike goes straight down the ground, and the mark is taken eventually by Turley. Juggling. The sun coming in from that angle may have made it a little difficult for Craig Turley, but he eventually grasped the mark.
Turley, runner up in the Brownlow at 91, gets it up towards full forward. Jason Ball, good mark. He kicked the Eagles first, and indeed only goal in the first quarter from a pretty good mark, albeit a controversial one, and a little bit further out than he is here with the breeze at his back.
Such an important player, Pete, is Jason Ball, marking out in front like that. One of the few opportunities he's had so far in the game today to lead and take that sort of mark.
Again, needs to aim slightly left of centre. And you can see he hasn't done that, and he's missed the major part of the prize, kicking only one behind. So Jason Ball 1-1 this afternoon. Goal in the first quarter, behind in the second. 5-6 to 2-2. Turner, a much improved, but still, I think, very much underrated fullback.
Good kick.
Straight down the centre. Knights, a little bit of a nudge, or we say good use of the body. A flip over his shoulder to Campbell, who had a perfect throw in the first quarter. Campbell outside 50. Long kick into Edwards' territory. Couldn't take it. Tried to get it back to Naish. Hand pass wasn't quite good enough. Kick off the ground, comes back towards centre half forward. Turley might have given away a free kick. Umpire lets it go. Knights goes in solidly, and it will be a ball up right on the 50-metre line at the 17-minute mark of the second term. 17 minutes to go, that is. Goldspink, McKenzie and Rich, the umpires. Darren Goldspink, of course, the comeback kid in the umps. Hart. Tried for Godden. Couldn't find him. And a good mark taken by Burke, who seems to get better with every game. Burke's kick to half forward. Johnny Worsfold there. Tried to drag it in one-handed. Jakovic thought about going off the ground. Still he goes, Jakovic. And the umpire has decided that's as far as he can go, and it's going to be a bounce.
So I thought John Northey may have moved David Burke off Godden and put him on the taller player in Michael Brennan, but he's elected to have Burke stay there, and Michael Gale stays with Brennan.
Neeld just roaming across the centre of the ground, unattended, but now McKenna gets a little closer to him as Richmond force the ball forward. Djakovic, well, maybe he should have taken that, but it spills away from the West Coast defender over for a throw-in.
He's fumbled a couple of times today, hasn't he, Djakovic?
Uncustomary, as we've come to know Glenn Djakovic. Evans, dispossessed by Bond, was good. Bond tries to get it clear, looking for Knights. Turley in there to provide the pressure, and 50 metres from the Richmond goal will have a bounce.
Whilst both sides have to put up with the surface of the ground, the Eagles just finding it a little more difficult with those moving or shifting conditions underfoot, Rob. They're just finding it hard to keep their foot firmly on the ground and get the ball away freely, which they normally can do.
Well, Richmond have been tremendous. They've only suffered one defeat. That was at the hands of Geelong by something like 72 points. But their season so far has been quite consistent. And they're up against the Eagles, who are a very, very stylish combination. Bond's kick to the 50-metre area. Again, a fumble. Hart would nearly mop that up. Naish is in there. Can he be penalised? Oh, dear. I think when you're a supporter or a coach or whatever, your heart goes to your mouth in those situations when the ball is dragged back in underneath. But the umpire throws it in the air, and it's eventually bashed clear for a throw-in quite near where the players enter the arena. There's a race a little further around, but the Eagles would have come onto the ground from about that area there. Now the chance for Naish once again. He's kicked the full foot. Edwards in front, not paid. Hit the deck.
Yes.
And Mitchell White, well, he was
just
behind. Edwards should have grabbed that in.
His head front posse, just enough pressure there from White, and the ball just dropping straight through his arms.
Well, it's kicked towards goal, and it registers a behind.
I think it was Edwards.
Forward by Edwards.
Robbo.
So he nearly made up for that previous indiscretion where he went for the chest mark, but unfortunately for him and the Tigers, he could kick just a behind.
Mitchell White goes to the outer side. Well, that's a bump ball, Broderick, isn't it? No, he's paid the mark.
Again, an unusually poor kick from White, who's normally with those low trajectory passes very good. I thought he should have gone long just through the middle. Pike was calling him that way. He just went out to that flank.
Paul Broderick, you'd say too far out to score. Tried for the spiral punt. Didn't get onto it at all. Marking contest was ineffectual. Now Banfield looks for Waterman. Oh, bad hand pass. Broderick again had it, lost it. Knights, underground hand pass. Now comes back to Maxfield. It's from Bond. Djakovic in the goal square. Does the mopping up, curls it around, but kicks straight to Campbell.
Well, he wanted to get it to Banfield, poked further around the ball, just not bending for him. And again, not a quality kick coming out of defence, giving Richmond another chance.
Edwards makes a lead. Campbell decides to ignore it. Maybe he fancies his chances of kicking this right on 50. He's got the distance okay, just slightly off target and one behind. So he's kicked 1 goal 1. The Richmond winger out of their tally of 5-8. West Coast 2-2. 13.5 minutes left in the second quarter. And David Hart, who's certainly been one of the busiest players on the ground. 6 kicks and 5 handballs, and gets it in short. The mark taken down there by Mitchell White. White from the back pocket. Richmond with the numbers. Mark is taken by Tape. He goes in short. Edwards on the lead, chopping it off though, and doing well is Worsfold, but it's a free kick going to Peter Matera.
I didn't see that, Pete. I was watching the intercept by Worsfold. The told was for a push in the back.
Norm Smith medalist and runner-up in the Brownlow last year. Kicks up towards Kemp. Kemp just off the edge of the centre square.
Wobbly old punt kick. Diving effort by Prescott. Still at half forward for the West Coast. Turley making it difficult for the Richmond defenders to clear. Eventually it's Callaway, throws his left foot on it. Richmond a chance here. Knights, any space? No. Handballs to himself. Could have nearly been penalised, I feel, for holding the ball there, Matthew Knights.
I'm not sure whether he really actually handballed it either, although I think he just had a hand on it and just tossed it up a little.
Bit lucky when it came back into his possession, though, wasn't it?
Hand on it. He just sort of threw it up a bit. That's virtually dropping the ball for me.
Well, the bounce of the ball just forward of the centre favouring the Tigers. Turley forces it down, but another great mark taken by Burke. David Burke now has taken 3 marks, and he's now had 10 possessions. There's a good mark taken by Djakovic. Sure ball handling on this occasion. Glenn Djakovic looked to give the hand pass away. He's been called to play on now and kicks reasonably well with the left foot. Wobbly punt kick, and a good mark taken by Callaway. He was under a cloud before the game started, Duncan Callaway, he and Michael Gale. But he's taken his place on the ground. Knights gets rid of Turley. Matthew Knights with the ball on centre wing. Kicks in the direction of Tape. Tape and Waterman. Tape drags it back in, but umpire Goldspink giving him the benefit of the doubt. And will throw it in the air, left half forward for Richmond. It's probably 2 kicks from their goal. The Tigers lead 5-8. West Coast at 2-2. And we're nearly halfway through the second term.
Just the 1 goal scored so far in this quarter. Maxfield, Jakovic.
He read that well. He allowed Bullis to under the contest, the bounce, sat back 25 metres, and he knew where the kick was going to come out of the scrimmage.
Worsfold or Waterman, they could have raffled it. The matter has it. Now gets a call from the umpire to play on, which he does. Kick up towards centre field. Campbell in front, couldn't take the mark. Good bump by Edwards, but Pike is there. Gets it back to Banfield. Chips it in short, down towards half forward. Well played. Evans over the top. Ball has to stop. Burke's got it. Now Pike, or Evans it was, kicked into the man on the mark, and the umpire will bounce it about 35 metres out from the Richmond goal, and listen to the fans. And Burke.
Yeah, it's not such a good handball for Tony Evans to try and find ball. Had to make him stretch. Then a great smother again by Callaway when the kick was trying to be effected at goal by Evans.
Bond, oh, beautifully done. Campbell under pressure from Banfield. Now Broderick. Broderick off 1 step. Long kick up towards half forward. And Bullis has got the mark, beating Jakovic that time. Bullis out wide. Edwards on the lead. And that's Neal. And this time he's taken the mark. Former Geelong player. Did play at full forward for a brief period down at Cardinia Park.
Heady comes off and Chris Lewis comes on to be picked up by Callaway. Done a pretty good job on Heady, Callaway.
Mark Neald will kick probably just inside 50. He does. Not a great kick off the boot. And the Eagles defence seeing it safely over the line. Punched away by Mitchell White for a boundary throw in 15 metres from the behind post. Number 10 down there was Nick Daffy. Kicked a beautiful goal in the first quarter. Deere and Turnbull. McKenna underneath all that lot. Not going anywhere with the footy. And it is going to be another bounce. Just past the halfway mark of the second term. 9 minutes and 45 seconds left before half-time.
Umpire throws it in the air once again for the 2 big ruckmen, Deere and Turnbull. Falls for Turley. Turley's handball over his head. Knights still with the football underneath there. Kicked forward by Daffy. In the direction there of Bullis. Nearly took a fluke mark. Kicked off the ground by Edwards, just misses. So Stuart Edwards, after dropping a chest mark earlier in this quarter, has now had 2 snaps at goal for 2 behinds. Kick in by Hart is good. Finds Waterman.
McKenna to kick in, I think, Robbo.
McKenna, was it? Sorry, Roscoe. But it was a brilliant kick. Waterman is 50 metres from the Richmond goal. Great mark taken by Callaway.
Well, he was prepared to go back. Chris Lewis sat forward expecting ball to come from behind, but Callaway just too good.
Callaway on centre wing, members side. Gets the ball 50 metres from the Richmond goal. Knocked away by Jakovic. Tidied up by McKenna. Hand pass, that's better. That hit the target. So did this one by Kemp. This is Banfield. Can he get past? Yes, he can. With a bit of strength and precision, finds McKenna. McKenna goes into the forward pocket area, and Brennan has taken the mark under a little bit of difficulty. The goal square is vacant. Now Broderick goes back with Turley, and Brennan will kick from 50 metres. Should really get the distance. Lobs it up in the air. The breeze will carry it back towards the goal, but it's helped over by the Richmond defence for a rush behind to the West Coast. With 8.5 minutes left in the second term, 5-9 to 2-3. So the margin is exactly 4 goals. And Turner giving his players plenty of time to settle. And he can go short. Now he decides to go long. Straight down the ground. Outnumbering 2-on-1. Knights does well. By gee, just a little nudge out. Gets the ball and kicks to half forward. Important possession here. McKenna scoops it up for Worsfold. Simmons. Wider still for Mitchell White. And the West Coast are out of trouble.
Only momentary perhaps, but Waterman. Back to Kemp. On to Don Pike at midfield. Pike off 1 step. In towards Turner. Great mark. Better judgment, good use of the body. Turner kicks towards centre wing. Ball sits nicely for Bond. Gets rid of it just in time. Good pressuring by Banfield. Will he take it out? Or Banfield can't take it out. Bond's still got it. Now it's flipped out. Free kick Richmond.
Well played by both players there. Banfield made up a lot of ground to pick up Bond, who isn't his man. Substituted in there because Pike couldn't get it there. And in the end, just a little bit in the back. Free kick the other way.
Bond's kick short to Gale. Haven't seen too much of him.
Good kick.
Edwards.
Good lead and good kick.
Well, Gale had actually run down off Brennan.
The only minus, he's got a pretty bad angle.
When you said you haven't seen much of Michael Gale, he was under a severe cloud during the week with that right leg severely strapped up.
Edwards kicks. Oh, gee, that's not bad. Oh, what a goal from the boundary line. Edwards gets his first terrific kick. 6-9 to 2-3.
And that's probably the goal that the Eagles didn't want Richmond to kick, because they'd started to get their fair share of the footy and getting it forward in some better system than they've had so far in the game. And Edwards just kicked it off the boot, looked very awkward. You wouldn't want it any better than that, though the result was perfect.
Richmond go forward from the centre bounce through Maxfield. Knocked back, Simmons gathers onto the right foot, kicks it clear. Mark taken by Waterman. Waterman on centre wing, out of side. Richmond fans have had plenty to cheer about. Their side leads 6-9 to 2-3. 6.5 minutes left in the second term. They're under pressure here though. Good gather by Turley. Handball in. Leaving it behind was Godden. And Bauer to take it over for a throw-in. Again, the Richmond supporters fairly pleased with their situation. John Nordy, Kevin Morris in the coach's box. 45 metres from the West Coast goal, boundary throw-in, Matera. Godden didn't have the ball, Bauer the tackler. Deer tackle on Turnbull, not bad. Turnbull gets rid of Bauer, and the umpire will throw it in the air right in front of the main scoreboard here at Optus Oval, about 45 metres from the Eagles' goal. 15 scoring shots to 5. The Richmond lead. Ball punched away by Lewis. Matera didn't have it. Dropping the ball. Umpire says now play on, advantage with the Tigers. Bond's kick, nearly taken by Bullis. Is that a free kick?
Yep.
Bullis holding his head as he regains his footing, but he's got the free kick.
12-4, the free kicks.
Well, that can be a bit misleading sometimes, I guess, but gee, it's a statistic that maybe the Eagles fans wouldn't be too happy with. Bullis's kick gets good distance, 45 to 50 metres. Mitchell White gets it wide now for Hart. Hart usually kicks it nicely. Approaches 50 metres. Nearly the mark taken in front there by Bullis again. Matera goes after it. Gathers, he's dragged and thrown and pushed and harassed, and still no free kick forthcoming. The umpire is quite prepared to allow play to go on. Matera looking a little nonplussed, but the throw-in will take place about 90 metres out from the Eagles' goal.
Brett Heady about to come back onto the field from that boundary throw-in. We're still on the outer side. Ball flipped out the front of the pack. Picked up beautifully down there for the Tigers by Bullis. His kick into space at half forward. Worsfold just got a hand to it. Butters up again to get the long clearing kick away. Waterman in front. Matera at the back. Kemp. Pike kicks across his body up towards half forward. Gale punches down. Godden, he's already kicked one. Nice short kick. Oh, ball missed what he certainly should have taken. Evans comes in to help him out, and things not going the way of the Eagles this afternoon, certainly so far.
Creeps to the side of it, Pete, when a few of the better players fumble, then others just seem to follow suit almost unintentionally, of course, and then Ball just losing complete control of that.
Kick out of the pack was kicked by Ball, so he's made amends. It's a goal. So Jason Ball very quick to make amends, and that's a badly needed one from the Eagles.
Matera, the crowd, Matera's coming off as he watched this on replay, and Ball certainly, as Pete said, made amends there. Heady comes on to replace him. Peter Matera getting very frustrated in that outer wing of Nathan Bauer. just having a breather.
So 2 goals to Ball, 1 to Tony Godden, the goal kickers for the Eagles. We come back to the centre. 4.5 minutes left in the half. It's 45 plays 21.
So you can't afford to drop your bottom lip in a game of football today, Roscoe, can you? When you're taken off the ground, which is what's happened to Peter Matera. And ironical cheers from Richmond fans. Ball out on the outer wing, helped over by John Worsfold, and a boundary throw will take place. Very, very necessary that players adjust to the interchange bench. Deere gets it down. Rogers is onto the ground. Gets it clear for Matthew Knights. He's having a certain impact on this game. He's kicked towards full forward. Oh, Naish was up high. Couldn't take the mark. Maybe not the place for him to be. He's a crummy under normal circumstances. Oh, terrific gather by Prescott. He's playing the game of his life. Gets it to Campbell. Campbell from 50 metres. Has he gone too far? Well,
it's got to come back.
It's got to come back. Richmond have taken the mark, but umpire Dennis Richards deemed that Wayne Campbell has run too far.
Wasn't that a brilliant pickup by Prescott? He and Pike were neck and neck running for the ball. Got in front, scooped it at one hand, fell a little, got to his feet again, a la Matera style, and gave Campbell a chance.
Well, the West Coast in the last 3 years have been the trendsetters, so I suppose when you say a la Peter Matera, I guess the opposition teams have got to pick up some good things from them if they're going to contend with them in matches.
Nothing wrong with learning from other people, is there,
Exactly.
Robert?
Kick by Banfield, lovely kick, gets good distance, down to the 50-metre line. Gatherers by Broderick, plays the ball on in front of himself, then gets a clear Bauer, tackle by Heady, hand pass wide, Turnbull, back to Kemp, must capitalise here. Kemp is talented and skillful and does it beautifully. It's a goal to the Eagles.
A great goal by Kemp.
Absolutely brilliant, Pete, really. In that situation, it's been a great duel between he and Matthew Knights. Kemp's got 10 and 5. And Knights has 5 and 6, and it's been fairly influential, Knights, but here good pressure by Heady. And then Turnbull puts Kemp under a little bit of pressure in terms of the way he ran forward, but Kemp just brilliant.
Terrific goal by Kemp. Certainly needed that one, the Eagles. 6-9 to 4-3, just over 3 minutes left before half-time. Bond went without it. Opportunity for Maxfield, who himself kicked a great goal in the first quarter. Jakovic up high for the mark. Edwards, quick hand pass onto Rogers. The bounce certainly going to be a factor. Off the ground, Maxfield. And a goal. And it was Guy McKenna that fumbled down there that time that let Richmond in for their 7th goal. 7-9 to 4-3.
Well, the really good thing about Richmond's play today has been they've actually played the Eagles in their own game. They've been accountable, they've run in numbers, they've backed up, and they've really fought hard to keep the ball in the forward area. And they're just having the options with numbers again, as I mentioned. Maxfield, as Pete said, kicking his second, forever the opportunist.
Turnbull to do the ruck work again up against Greg Deere. They look as though they'll be at it for most of the afternoon. Knights gets the hand pass wide to Michael Gale. Michael Gale, good kick, gets good ground, but a throw-in will take place. Left half forward for Richmond.
I'll be inclined to put Turnbull in the forward area and bring Hines back onto ruck. So they've got a second tall in that forward area where the Eagles are just lacking, particularly across half forward at the moment. Michael Brennan just not used to playing that centre half forward role as he now actually goes back to full forward.
Simmons knocks it clear. Broderick takes it over. So another throw-in, a little further away from the Richmond goal than the previous throw-in. Richmond leads 7-9 to 4-3, 2.5 minutes left. So if they can go in at half-time with a bit of an advantage, which they look as though they may at this stage, certainly will be a psychological plus for the Tigers. Simmons, and very close to the line, eventually over for a throw-in.
As Robbie Wiley brings his brother-in-law off in Michael Brennan, the change to be made. Metropolis will come on.
So Greg Deere gets his left hand to it. Naish, little left foot kick. Bond, so he gets some space. Can't quite get that hand pass clear. Prescott. Daffy across his left shoulder. High flyer, no mark. Neal, still Neal, making a contest. White goes for the line. And just where the little leaguers are preparing to have their go at Optus Oval, The boundary throw-in will take place left forward pocket for Richmond. Turnbull gets the front spot. Naish, Simmons, Maxfield and Lewis, and it's helped over for another throw-in. So some negative play by both sides. Richmond trying to force it forward. The Eagles trying to get it clear from half-back. And both sides struggling hard close to half-time.
Minute and 3/4 before half-time. Deer and Turnbull. Bond. Poleaxed. And it's going to be a bounce. And Tiger fans continually booing. Hard to understand. 13 free kicks they've received. The Eagles have got 5. And Richmond leading handily, 7-9 to 4-3. As we wait the ball up. Comes back towards Edwards. Bond goes off the ground and has kicked it out of bounds, or is it a behind? It's out of bounds. So throw in right next to the behind post in Richmond's left forward pocket. Big chance for Richmond to get another goal before half-time. Deer tried for Campbell at the back. Naish kicked it from mid-air. McKenna overruns it. Neal with front posse. Has to go off the ground, kicks it out of bounds. Then he retrieves it himself, Wayne Harms, in that memorable grand final. But it's out of bounds.
Try as often as you like. You'll never emulate that.
No. One of the great pickups of all time. Deer flips it out the back, only to see Kemp over his head. Knight tackled by Turley. Great duel that. Ball jarred free in the tackle. Hand pass comes out of the pack to Bond. Look for someone going past, can't find him. The Eagles are going to get out of this. Kemp's kick up towards centre half forward. It bounces once, twice. Off the ground from Burke. Still he goes Prescott, as Robbo said, playing the game of his life. Pike on the Turley, quick hand pass. Rogers, who came on in this quarter, pressured by Godden. Still he goes Rogers, and well done. Now Broderick onto Burke. Burke from left centre wing, down towards the forward pocket. And it's just a little bit too hot for Bullis. It's out of bounds. And we will see a throw in about 40 metres out from goal. A real different looking Paul Bullis with the short hair. So another boundary throw in. Deer and Turnbull both miss it. Simmons. One step back towards midfield. Prescott again. Good tackle by Callaway. Ball jarred free. Gets the hand pass out to Knights. Kemp comes across him. Knights down towards the left forward pocket. Jakovic reads it best and takes the mark.
Jakovic in the right back pocket. You wonder whether Edwards may have been trying to anticipate, but
playing on.
Yes, certainly held Jakovic up long enough, but he was able to get the kick to Lewis. Chris Lewis gets the last kick of the first half. Scotty Turner takes the mark, but at half-time, Richmond have got the numbers on the board. They lead 7-9-51. West Coast 4-3-27. The goal kickers for Richmond, 2 to Maxfield, 1 each to Edwards, Deer, Daffy, Campbell and Naish. And for the West Coast, 2 to Ball and 1 each to Kemp and Godden.
Well, it looks as though Richmond, certainly on their form in the first half, are going to give it a real shot at breaking their long drought against the West Coast. Number 32, Burke, there has had a terrific first half. He's had 8 kicks and 4 hand passes. And the Eagles regrouping now as they go in for half-time. And at Optus Oval, it's the Tigers 7-9-51, leading the reigning title holders 4-3-27. Umpire Darren Goldsby starts the third quarter at Princes Park. The difference is 4 goals in favour of Richmond after they bolted in the first quarter. The Eagles came back marginally only in the second. Hines and Deer. Deer wins it. Bond applies a tackle on Kemp, so too Broderick, and Rogers is there. And it's going to be another bounce, this time all in. So a football in the 60s.
Bond now picking up Kemp too, Pete. Kemp was by far the Eagles' best player in that first half, I thought.
No question about that. Heady has had a stint on the bench. Likewise, Matera. Or Turner kicked it off the ground, and I think out of bounds on the full. Yes, he did. So Ball is going to take the free kick. He's too far out to score. Kick and a half to goal from there. Lewis making a lead. Has to go back quickly. Oh, Deer. Too tall. Read it best. And Richmond player out on the ground there.
Is that Burke?
In that marking contest. I think it is Burke. I think he got a knee in the back. We may see it on replay.
Certainly unintentional, but getting some elevation there. Deer just, got Burke.
Greg Deer anyway has to play on. Keep you informed as to what happens there. He's still down on the ground. Heady takes the mark in front of Gale.
Just.
Yes, just. Brett Heady That line you can see belonging to the centre square, into which he goes and finds Waterman. And Burke gets up off the ground. Ball punched away by Turner. Broderick got a fingernail to it. The Tigers through again. Greg Deere and Knights. A dummy, then off the left foot. Doesn't get too much distance with it. Naish unloads with a hand pass. Oh, Turley! A great tackle on the speedy Maxfield. Bond with the long kick down towards full forward. Richmond with the numbers. Bullis at the back.
Free kick pushed by Bullis on Jakovic.
And Jakovic will take the free. He's gone out wide, and the Eagles will be able to run it away. The hand pass, a long one from White, and he's found Banfield.
Banfield goes down the wing and kicks accurately, finds Heady. Heady approaches half forward. Kicks in short with the left foot, not bad either. Waits it beautifully for Jason Ball to run onto. He kicks from outside 50 into the pocket, hooks the kick, looking for a bit of extra distance, and it goes over in front of Callaway and Simmons for a boundary throw in left forward pocket, as we see the groundsman doing what Dipper wasn't prepared to do. And, well, it's an unwanted task, isn't it? After the policeman's horses have been out there at half-time. David Hines rushing in to do the ruck work, then told to go back and defend across half-forward. Jason Ball gets his right foot to it, kicks a goal. No, it was touched off the boot, obviously, because it rolled through without anyone getting to it. But Jason Ball registers another behind for the West Coast. He's kicked 2-2. West Coast 4-4, trail Richmond 7-9.
Good kick. Oh, the kick! Oh, to centre wing. Burke. Worsfold gets there first. Bullis cannons into him and gives away the free kick.
Richmond can't blue. The free kicks are something like 15-5.
Matera from Hines. Hines looking a little bit proppy, and that kicks out of bounds on the full. Northwesterly wind helping it on its way.
I'm not sure the numbers are, Pete, but I don't think I've seen the Eagles kick out of bounds in the full so many times in a game.
All on that side of the ground too. Callaway's kick. Jakovic and Hines. The latter takes the mark, gives it away to Turley. The umpire said, no, you've got to come back.
I think he'd gone forward of his mark in doing so, Pete. Technically
correct, but annoying. Matera. Simmons. Simmons at midfield. Lewis. First touch of the day for Chris Lewis. Started on the bench and now playing at full forward. Would that be right?
Gee, just turned his back at the wrong minute too, because he had Waterman on his right who was free. Broderick taking some time to get down and pick him up. Just missed that opportunity.
Certainly testing, because into the breeze.
Well, he must think he can kick the distance.
It'd be a good kick. And again, the breeze taking it away, out of bounds on the full. Didn't allow for it. Would need to have aimed for the right behind post, and Turner will kick the ball back into play.
Scotty Turner for the Tigers. Been one of their good defenders. They've had a few today. A long kick by Turner. Oh, excellent mark taken by Bauer.
He's giving Matera something to think about.
Well, Matera looks just unsteady on his feet. Obviously, that knee injury causing him more concern. Was that a throw by Kemp? Worsfold, Turley, Banfield. Now Don Pike. Kick towards half forward. And standing or keeping his footing was Callaway, which was very important. Broderick, lovely hand pass, sets it up for Rogers. Rogers running through the centre. A high kick towards full forward. Edwards in front, couldn't take the mark. Naish, handball Daffy. Snapshot by Daffy. Must have just sneaked in for a behind for Richmond. 1 goal, 1 to Nick Daffy. Richmond 7-10, West Coast 4-4. Very important remaining 16 minutes of the third term for both sides, but particularly the West Coast, if they're to have a chance in the last term coming home to the main scoreboard in, they must contain the Tigers in this third quarter.
Hart told to kick it in by the umpire. Matera, good mark. Richmond, they've only scored 2-4 since quarter time. 2 players on the mark. Big punch away. Bond has got speed, can't use it this time. Goes down to the tackle. Broderick gets the hand pass away. Bauer's got plenty of speed. Outside 50, goes at goal. Bullis touched through and rushed through for a minor score to the Richmond side. So 2-5 they've kicked since quarter time. That great first quarter when they added 5-6 has certainly put them on the road. 7-11 their score moves along to. Mark should be taken down there by Mitchell White. It is in the right back pocket. Kicks up towards 50. Lovely sidestep down there by Worsfold. The skipper's kick towards right half forward. No mark taken. Turley, Campbell, Simmons, still Campbell, past Waterman, onto Maxfield. Not too many options for him except the boundary line, which he finds, and it's out of bounds right on interchange. 15 minutes left in the third quarter. 8 kicks to Stuart Maxfield, from which he's kicked 2 goals. 1 off the ground, but the first was an absolute gem in the first quarter on the run when he took that hand pass, one of the goals of the day. Tap out by Deere. Don Pike involved in a wrestle down there.
I'm not sure what Chris Waterman's done, Pete, if I can just jump in there. Chris Waterman's done to some of his teammates, because 3 or 4 times he's been clear on this wing. They just ignored him and gone to a longer option, which has been 50-50.
Oh, Deere looking for the free kick, gets a kick anyway. Oh, Nash pushed fair square in the middle of the back. No free kick, and Worsfold comes away with the footy.
Johnny Worsfold's kick towards the right half forward, marked by Simmons, was good. Bodywork excellent. Kemp goes in short. Very, very fickle bounce there for Chris Lewis. Gathered by Gale. Gale's kick towards the wing, punched away by Metropolis, was pretty good, but it's gathered now by Campbell. Campbell runs through the wing, kicks in towards half forward. Worsfold does well. The ball rebounds now. Bullis, handball. Can Neil get down at ground level? Yes, he can. And he does it nicely, Mark Neil, and gets the Tigers' first goal of the second half.
Robert, I think you mentioned that fickle bounce was all it needed to get Richmond back into the Sorday forward, because the Kemp kick was looking for Lewis. It just bounced right over his head. Gale came storming through, and then this is where it's been the control by Richmond, and the balls at the deck's been a little better than the Eagles. Richmond players have kept their footing. Neil gets the goal.
Back to the centre, Mark Neil's first goal, and Richmond's first of the third quarter. And the umpire will bounce it again. Neil, of course, helps Chris Nash to that great goal that he kicked on the run in the first term, and capitalising himself there after he regained his footing. Terrific goal, just what Richmond needed. 13 3/4 minutes left in the third quarter. Up high, Hines, down to Bansfield, not too much support. Kicks to half forward, or Turner missed what he seemed to be going to take. Gale now from Callaway, back to Turner. Clean disposal this time, on to Bond at right centre wing. Bond a little bit longer, looking for Bullis, who marks in front of Jakovic.
It's giving Jakovic something to think about today, Bullis.
Just too far out to score. It's really the dead pocket there. They need to attack from this side. Metropolis missed the mark. Maxfield loves to kick them on the run, onto the left foot, snaps and misses. And the ball off the hands of the pack for a rush behind to Richmond.
Beautiful pickup. Was that Bond? No, it was Nash.
8-12 to 4-4. Chris Nash close to goal is always dangerous. Guy McKenna. The Eagles again under siege, and Mitchell White down after that marking contest.
May have hurt his knee.
Knee or ankle. McKenna taking plenty of time to bring the ball back finally to the defensive side of the ground. A one-on-one contest out there. Jakovic dragged off the football. Chance for Bauer just inside the boundary line. McKenna should get there first. He doesn't, takes the mark.
Guy McKenna, fairly polished performer. Handball over the top to Hart. Hart runs up near the 50-metre line and kicks it out near the wing. Attempted punch on by Ball, but it rebounds nearly to the path of Knights. Bullis leaves it for Campbell. Across towards Callaway, good gather, and then gets his left foot to it in a slinging motion. Chance now for Daffy, tackled by McKenna, still there. Daffy gets it clear, Neil is tackled, well done McKenna, and eventually he's rewarded with a free kick. Well, I thought it was pretty good work by McKenna, he was outnumbered.
Agree with you.
And then he gets the handball to Worsfold. Worsfold's kick is high, up and under, and sits nicely for Turner, who takes a safe chest mark on centre wing. Tigers have the answers at this stage. They've kicked 8-12 to 4-4. So the margin is 32 points in favour of Richmond. That kick is being marked by Bond, and Bond close to the line. Impressive stats for Chris Bond, again a contributor. Valuable contributor for Richmond. Good mark taken by Hines in the full-back position for the Eagles.
He's about to come off too, to be replaced by Turnbull, which I'm not sure why they're doing that.
Hines, winner of the Fos Williams medal, of course coming from Port Adelaide originally. Kemp does the mopping up. Short kick up towards midfield. That's where Richmond are killing them at the moment in the midfield. Campbell, well, spent it before he got it. And it's going to be a ball up. Still inside the centre square. 11 minutes left in the third quarter. And becoming fairly dull here at Optus Oval. Prospect of rain certainly there. Pike, after Matera, got it away initially with a doubtful hand pass. Turner playing well up the ground in the third quarter and gathering plenty of possessions. Turner's kick well inside 50. Bullis off hands. Couldn't take the mark. The Eagles under siege here now. They'll be able to get away with it through Worsfold. He gets it back to Waterman. He gets it back to the captain. Threads it through some pretty heavy traffic. Kemp, Worsfold, nearly in trouble. Rogers collides with Campbell. Campbell comes away with the football. 25-metre hand pass to accommodate Bond. Steadies onto the right foot and has kicked the goal. 9-12 to 4-4, and the Tigers continue on their merry way.
Yes, and just overuse of the handball by the Eagles, trying to get themselves out of trouble, and easy to say from here, with a couple of opportunities they had to just turn and kick, and in the end Worsfold outnumbered, even though the Richmond players collided, with the presence of mind to keep their feet, and Bond, oh, it's a good goal.
Gee, it was a good handball by Campbell too, wasn't it? His vision in the fact that he got it wide and gave the opportunity for Bond, great. 9-12 to 4-4. Campbell's handball setting it up for Bond for Richmond's 9th goal. Kemp for the West Coast. The kick to half forward, gathered by Heady. They should get a goal here, the West Coast. Heady goes in and has missed. Gee whiz, you wouldn't often see that. Brett Heady missing from about 30 metres out, straight in front. 9-12 to 4-5. Now the margin, 37 points. Malthouse.
Not happy, I don't think.
Well, I don't think he's got much to be happy
remember
about.
all that information.
Michael Gale to kick in for the Tigers. Gets good distance. Goes across the top of the players, contesting the mark. Back to Matera. Can he get past Matthew Knights? No. Gee, that left knee must be certainly restricting Matera's movements. Kemp's kick. No excuses once you get out there, I know that. Ball off the left foot. Kicks it up to the front of the goals. Gale, gather. Handball wide, Rogers. Got enough space to recover and then kicks towards half forward. Bullis has made a good contest of it. Punched away by Jakovic. Back it goes to Rogers. Rogers kick ill-directed. Jakovic marks. Gets his kick, but he was pushed off it by Naish and eventually finishes with Rogers. Rogers just forward of the wing. Kicks in towards full forward. Edwards.
Free kick.
Free kick, Edwards.
Advantage is paid. Naish has kicked the goal. Raining goals for the Tigers. Naish has kicked 2. Tigers get their 10th.
They can do no wrong, Robbo, can they? Just everything going for them, and you make your own luck by presenting yourself and working hard, and they've done that today, Richmond. Capitalise on most occasions on Eagles' mistakes. There's a free kick for holding on against White. Advantage paid by the umpire, and a deft left foot kick by Naish.
Tiger fans pretty happy as Chris Naish kicks his second goal. Turnbull to Evans. Up towards half forward, and the mark has been taken by Jason Ball. And boy, do the Eagles need one here. Lewis makes the lead. He's ignored that. Goes for distance with the kick, gets it. Oh, not a bad sort of a roost, like a public library behind the goal, so it's full points. Jason Ball kicks his third, and it's Richmond 10-12, West Coast 5-5.
Well, he's been there shining light on the forward line, Jason Ball, whether it be at full forward or centre half forward, and in limited opportunities he's kicked 3-2. That's a terrific kick from there, given that he had a couple of short leads. Evans and Lewis providing those, backed himself, got the goal.
Gee, after that kick you wonder how he missed the one in the second quarter, Ross.
Correct.
From right in front and only about 30 metres out, but I guess no one's perfect. The ball forced up towards the half-forward line for the West Coast. A free kick, and will go to Burke, being held onto. But David Burke has recovered from that heavy clash that he had earlier in the term. Handball's away to Campbell. Campbell is at centre half back for Richmond. Goes straight down the ground. And coming out strongly there was McKenna. Couldn't mark. Neil the handball away to Bauer. Bauer across his left shoulder. Kick in towards full forward. Edwards. Kick off the ground by Hart. Goes back to centre half back. Banfield combines with McKenna. McKenna's lovely long hand pass finds Matera. Matera in short. And the mark is taken by Turnbull. Turnbull plays on quickly. He's kicking towards the left forward pocket area. Good mark. Well done. Body work. Got rid of Turner. And ball is marked on his chest only 15 metres out. But the angle will be his greatest contention.
Yes, that's classical one-on-one marking duel there. Getting your body in front. Kick from Turnbull ignored the shorter lead of Lewis again and went long to ball, who'd run from almost centre half forward to that square area. Just got his body in front of Turner and kept him right out of the contest and marked it on his chest in the end.
What about his kicking ability, Roscoe? Could he drill this?
I'd back him from there.
West Coast badly need a goal from Jason Ball. He kicks for goal, straight over the goal umpire's head. He's kicked 4.
4 goals, 2 to Jason Ball, who's kicked the majority of the Eagles' tally of 6-5.
There's another change here by John Northey. Previous change he made was Daffy to come off, Moran to come on. This time Edwards is off, and the big fella coming on from Perth for his debut, Stephen Jurica, hasn't even played a senior game of waffle football, so big test for him.
Jason Ball, 4 goals, 2 now. Leading kicker for the Eagles this afternoon. Turnbull out of the centre. No one there to take it. Campbell up towards half forward. No one can take the grab there either. Bond tries to crash his way through. Runs into a brick wall.
Well,
and the umpire will ball it up.
I would say that's holding the ball.
I'm with you.
Had the opportunity to get rid of it.
You try to crash your way through.
Exactly. Huh? That's holding the ball. Even though he's taken front on, he had a chance to get rid of it.
1 tackle, 2 tackles. He's still got the footy. Stephen Jurica onto the ground, by the way. I was told yesterday he's staying with the Burke family, so he's certainly been able to team up this week. Out of the defensive area, Waterman's kick up towards Ball. Free kick Richmond.
Yeah, Ball pushed Burke in that contest.
Burke from left half back. Kick drops a little bit short. Punched away by Jakovic. Turley. A quick kick out of bounds on the full. No, just inside. I think he had to go for a Turner. It was a line ball decision either way. And it finished up out of bounds. Turner well up the ground this quarter. The recognised fullback. Turnbull with Deer. Deer over the top. Godden, who kicked a nice goal when he came on, to Turley. Turley kicks well inside 50. Lewis on the lead. That might be a free kick against Burke. Not paid by the umpire. Heady, who's had a stint on the bench. Good tackle, Callaway. Ball. Look away, hand pass. Godden. Snapshot out of bounds. Gale will take the free kick in the left back pocket. Or it might be Callaway. Going to be Callaway, who's been terrific. No, I was right the first time. A pretty handy bandage in that right thigh, Gale. Long drop punt. Turley. Mark taken in front of him by his teammate down there in Banfield. Onto Kemp. Heady, the target, can't take it. Callaway's there. Gale gives him support. No one there. Finally, Evans comes in. Tries to get a hand pass away. He was taken high, but it's holding the ball.
Gee, they're tough, aren't they?
Oh, dear.
He's the person making the play. Got no protection whatsoever.
Off the ground, Broderick. The hand pass, and now Campbell should clear.
And Campbell doesn't mess around either. He kicks it straight down the ground with a 50-metre kick. Knocked away by McKenna from Neil. And we'll have a throw in centre wing outer side. Richmond 10-12. West Coast 6-5. Margin 31 points. 5 3/4 minutes left in the third quarter. Ruckman, good contest. Spills for Prescott. Lovely hand pass, sets it up for Campbell. Campbell goes in towards centre half forward. Punched away again by Jakovic. Does well at his second try at it too. Spills at the 50-metre line. Hand pass by Mitchell White, found Hart. Hart's kick goes in towards the wing area. Matera, can he get the hand pass clear? He can. Banfield gives away a little bit of ground. Turnbull, advantage now with the West Coast up towards the 50-metre area. Again, Chris Lewis, not blessed with a good bounce, but Michael Gale was determined. Got the ball to Knights. Knights now into the path of Rogers. Rogers, the little kick, pretty good. Diving effort by Naish. Well, he dropped the mark, but the umpire perhaps couldn't see. Held it long enough.
Yeah,
okay.
Yep.
He should have to come off, Naish. I think that's blood on his forehead.
It might just be from that marking there.
Oh, I'm up the line, yes, could be. Very red, whatever it is.
Chris Naish has kicked 2 goals. And he's a pretty good kick too. Accuracy and distance. This kick hasn't quite got the carry. It lands in the square, and John Worsfold quite prepared to concede a behind to the Tigers. McKenna to kick in. Richmond lead by 32 points. Close to three-quarter time. So a big margin for the West Coast to make up if they're to win this game in the remaining 4 minutes plus the last quarter. Kick in finds Worsfold in front of Naish.
Didn't go in too much with that kick, certainly. 4.5 minutes to go. Worsfold in the right back pocket. Oh, good mark to Turner. Up the ground this quarter, doing particularly well.
Jakovic appealing for a free kick, being held out of it by Bullis, according to him.
Turner, 55 metres out from goal. Spiral punt kick. Just keeps going. He's just come onto the ground. Miranda, has he kicked it?
No,
one behind.
Yeah, Worsfold just getting a hand to it desperately. He might have hurt himself a bit too, perhaps, in that desperate effort.
10-14.
Right shoulder.
McKenna again to kick in. Defensively to the outer side. Oh, gee, Turnbull over the top. Has he taken it, or is it Bullis's mark, or a free kick? Bullis has got the kick. 55 metres from goal. Low trajectory drop punt. Oh, first mark, Stephen Jurica.
Whoever kicks a goal with his first kick, Pete.
Gee, good pair of hands.
Yes, and I mentioned, I think while we're in a break, that he actually hasn't even played a senior game of waffle football in Perth, so he spent time with the reserves at Richmond.
Well, he's got an impossible angle, realises that, and he's gone to Bauer, so he's not going to get a goal with his first kick. Bauer perhaps indicating that he's going to have a shot.
No, it's going against him. I think they got rid of Turley in trying to get that effort there, so it's a free kick there for him.
Yes, Turley's got the free kick and let off for them down there.
Good mark.
That's Ball. Onto Banfield. Banfield at left centre wing. Godden might have given away a free kick. Richmond fans certainly thought so. Callaway's hand pass a little bit too hot. Godden on Turner. Applies a good tackle. Ball jarred free in it. Kicked off the ground. And mark, free kick, whatever. Bauer again. Well, they've got all the answers so far. Richmond. Broderick's kick up to the wing.
See, Ball nearly took his 9th mark. Chance for David Burke, but the ball spills for Banfield. Banfield along the ground. Well, it really wasn't to anyone's advantage, but in putting his body in, Don Pike is the recipient of a free kick. Pike, well, fairly quiet by his terms. 10 kicks and 1 handball. Free kicks now 19 to Richmond, 12 to the West Coast. Just Pike holding onto the ball, waiting for someone to create an opportunity, but now he's forced to kick high to half forward. Nearly mark taken by Gale. Campbell is there for Richmond. Kicks it back quickly towards the wing, and it goes over for a throw-in. So Richmond would be pretty happy with this situation, one would feel. 2 minutes left in the third term. They lead 74 to 41. Johnny Northey in the coach's box. Michael Malthouse just a few seconds ago. Ruck infringement. And the free kick is being paid to the West Coast to be taken by Ryan Turnbull. Turnbull is just behind the wing. His kick will go near the 50-metre line. At the back, well, Ball has taken his 9th mark. Handball away to Evans. Now Waterman. He may get his goal now, Roscoe.
Yes.
Waterman, good kick. He is a good kick. He kicks a goal.
It was a beautiful kick. And a good chain of handballs there, just instinctive stuff. And Waterman on his favoured left foot in the right spot, I should say. Ball's just been terrific. That's his 9th, as Robbo mentioned. And the two left footers combining there, Evans to Waterman. And he's one of the best kicks in the league, really, for accuracy. As Godden comes off, replaced by Paul Simmons.
(10-14 to 7-5). And under 2 minutes left in the third quarter. Chris Waterman's first goal, giving the Eagles some hope. Deere, Broderick, now to Evans. Evans kick out of the congestion. There he is again. No, he couldn't take the mark on that occasion. Ball. Burke trying to do the tidying up work. He will eventually do so with a hand pass. Gleefully accepted by Campbell. Bond provides the shepherd. Broderick at midfield. Quick to get boot to ball. Broderick up towards full forward. No mark taken down there. And the Eagles will come away through Mitchell White. The bouncing ball towards the boundary line. I think it's going to be too close. And Rogers is more than content to take it over.
If Jason Ball had taken that mark,
maybe a goal.
Well, it's amazing, isn't it?
Exactly,
I mean, it's gone down the other end of the ground. Richmond nearly had a chance to kick a goal themselves, but Ball dropped what was a straightforward chest mark.
All of a sudden you're defending, aren't you?
Yep.
Deere tries to get rid of his opponent, Turnbull. He nearly had a second chance at it. Very congested. Broderick, Knights, over the top. Maxfield, good tackle by Kemp. Simmons is there. Rogers, a good tap on Hart. Gets there before Nash, who cannons into him. Maxfield off the ground. Broderick takes it from a standing start, kicks a goal. Handy goal close to three-quarter time by the Tigers. 11-14 to 7-5.
They've been able to do that most of the day, Pete. When the Eagles have looked threatening and getting themselves back into the game by scoring goals in 5 and 6 minute passages of play, Richmond have been able to steady and manufacture something in their forward area and get the goal.
Good tackle by Nash.
Just enough pressure, Robbo, isn't it?
Yep. Ineffective clearance by David Hart and quickly picked up by Broderick. A free kick out of the centre. Now, one would think that there were too many players, perhaps for Richmond in the square. So the free kick was with Turnbull. Down under half a minute. He's kicked towards half forward. It's going to rebound. Rogers over the top finds Campbell. Campbell's little kick in front of Bullis. Bullis gives the hand pass away. Hand pass again by Prescott to Campbell, to Miranda. Throw against Campbell. So this could be the last passage of play in the third quarter. A free kick against Wayne Campbell to be taken by Banfield.
Not as blatant a throw as in the first quarter, Robbo, I think.
No, well, he was a bit lucky then. Maybe the umpire's been waiting for him, Peter. Worsfold's kick to centre-half back. David Hart kicks long in towards the centre. Goes past Bauer. Gatherers by Burke. Leaves it behind. And
the siren is sounding, Robbo.
So at three-quarter time, Jason Ball in picture there. Three-quarter time, Richmond hold the advantage over the West Coast. In the match of the day from Optus Oval, Brett Heady is there, Greg Deere. But at three-quarter time, Richmond 11-14-80. Lead the West Coast 7-5-47.
The final quarter from Optus Oval, 33 points the difference in favour of Richmond. It's very dark and still quite windy here. The West Coast going to left of screen in this term. Kemp, not a clean possession, but he was taken without the football.
That's him there. Definitely free kick.
He'll get the free kick. Evans, tackled by Broderick. Ineffective. Up to half forward. Courage needed there. Richmond free kick.
Against Lewis for Michael Gale.
Well, Gale and Kellaway have been very good down that back half for Richmond.
Gale goes to the outer side. And you want to think that West Coast need a couple of goals very quickly if they're to be in this match. Broderick. Worsfold punches clear. Tries to go in again and pick it up. Miranda
free
comes
kick
in on him. Free kick is going to West Coast. It's going to be taken by Danny Metropolis.
Well, they just fell on top of him.
Metropolis from right half back flank. Burke in front. Can't take the mark. Still he goes, Burke. Campbell comes in to assist him. So too does Bond. Kemp's in there as well. And the umpire will bounce it. Strong northwesterly wind has been with us right throughout the day, but Prospect of rain still imminent. Quite dark here at the Optus Oval.
Might need some lights too, Pete, the way it's going.
It'd be rather handy to pick them up. Burke's got it, punched away from him. And the umpire again will come in to ball it up.
Godden, the West Coast player there, last up with Greg Deere for the Tigers. Mark McKenzie just prepared to throw it in the air. Greg Deere gets a fist to it, but it's bashed back inside 50 metres. Waterman. Well, that finessing stuff is probably not for today's football. West Coast get it into their right forward pocket. Little kick off the ground by Godden. And a throw-in will take place in the right forward pocket for the West Coast in front of the main scoreboard, about 25 metres around from their goal. Ball. And David Burke. Ball gets the front posse and gets his right foot to it. It's gone over on the full, one would suggest. No, it may have been touched off the boot, because it certainly looked as though it cleared the line. Michael Gale protesting. And, the boundary umpire, it looked to me as though it went over. Well, you couldn't quite see from that replay, but the umpire officiating in that area, quite emphatic about that decision. Again, it's over for a throw-in. A little further away, about 40 metres now, around from the West Coast goal. 11-14 to 7-5. No addition to three-quarter time scorers yet. Deere, number 14 for the Tigers. Turnbull, punch clear by Ball. Gathered by Broderick. Gets it outside 50. Bond up high. Simmons just keeps it in the area. Ball it was. Banfield left it. Gathered by Rogers. Rogers left foot kick. Bounces in the centre. Fumble there by Hart. Pressure applied by Naish. Still David Hart. Gathers and then kicks it back towards goal for the West Coast. Callaway and Heady. Greg Deere for the Tigers. Kicks it clear. Out into the path there of Matthew Knights. Banfield, the West Coast player. Knights prepared to handball it in front of himself, but Banfield does well. Gets the handball for Simmons. Simmons spins out of trouble and then throws it onto his right foot. Kicks it into the pocket. Nearly the mark taken back there by Burke. He's appealing for a push. No free kick. Throw-in will take place. Right forward pocket for West Coast.
Could almost have played that a free kick, Robert, because even though Ball was going for the ball, in doing so, he came into the back of Burke. So free kick's there.
The back of Burke. Lovely spot too it is.
Haven't been there.
Well, I have. It's a bit warmer than we have here at the moment. And it's starting to rain as well. Just to add to the troubles of West Coast. If they get out of this, it'll be a Houdini job, I'd reckon. At the back ball, Mitchell, it was Pike. They need something to happen, as I said, quickly, the West Coast. Off the hands, Bauer. Still he goes, Nathan Bauer. Knights calls for it. Doesn't get the hand pass he wanted. Ball needs to bounce for him. Banfield chases onto Bond. Bond lifted the square. Djakovic will punch. No free kick either. Bullis kneeled. A snapshot in the rain. That'll be a goal. Kick by Nathan Bauer. Richmond's 12-14 to 7-5. And that's going to make the Eagles' task, you would think, from here pretty impossible.
Exactly right. And here, Bullis just did the right thing, hung on to the ball, almost Docker style there, just waiting for the opportunity to come. Gave it off. The centering kick was very good, and Bowers had a great game on Matera, sent him off the ground today. Finishes off, which will make it pretty difficult.
Well, one would suggest it's nigh on impossible now for the West Coast. Kemp, a high kick towards half forward, getting back Campbell. Safe chest mark. All wrapped up there by Wayne Campbell, left half back for Richmond. Tigers would welcome the rain, because it just makes it that little bit more difficult to kick a bundle of goals in succession. Campbell's kick out wide to the wing, and the mark taken by Broderick. Broderick has had 20 possessions and kicked a goal. Jurika providing the lead, but Broderick goes in high in that direction. Free kick, and it will go to Djakovic. Advantage is paid. David Hart comes away with the ball for the West Coast. He's kicked towards the wing. Heady and Callaway. Well, there was a bit each way there, I would have thought, but Heady being sprung by the umpire, Callaway will get the free kick.
Well, it's the most experienced umpire there. They're just holding the right arm of Callaway, which precluded him from turning and going back on the footy. He's had a very good game, Callaway. Seen Heady off the ground too.
Gives the hand pass away to Campbell. Campbell scouting down as he kicks the ball. Up towards half forward, the mark is taken by Metropolis for the West Coast.
Campbell was flattened behind the play. And a very heavy shepherd. And still the rain falls. Metropolis's kick. Huge pack of players down there. Simmons to Waterman. Good hand pass.
Too far.
A little bit too hot for Evans. Gets out of it well. Left foot snapshot. It's going close, but not close enough by Tony Evans, and it rolls through for only a behind. His first score of the day,
hasn't it? Just their precision hasn't been there like it normally is.
That's exactly what I was going to say, Robbo. Just those things, just like half a foot too far in front.
Exactly.
With the sort of condition the ground's in, makes it difficult for the player to stop and turn around.
Gale kicks to centre wing. Knights overruns it. So too does Matera. Hand pass away comes from Jason Ball.
It's going back to Matera, Pete, because he was held just briefly by the jumper and trying to get back on the footy. So that's why the kicks come back.
Peter Matera to Chris Lewis.
He's been thrown to the wolves today, Ross, on the bench for most of the game. Then when he comes on, he's been asked to play at full forward, the team that's only been able to manage to kick 7 goals.
Yes, and a couple of times he has presented himself. The ball's bounced right over his head, and other times he's presented himself and they've kicked it over his head.
55 metres out, Lewis. Not going to be a score. Out in front of goal. Huge pack of players go for it. Heady has to beat 3. Callaway. And the ball shuffled over the line. It will be thrown in 5 metres from the behind post. We've got under 14 minutes left in the match.
Miranda off for Richmond. Sorry, Pete. Miranda off and Daffy is on back onto the half-forward flank.
Turnbull and Deere. And a great battle all day. And again, the ball shuffled to the boundary line. It beats Rogers and Simmons. A little bit further around this time. And once again, another throw-in to take place. John Northey still barking instructions. Looking for the side's first win against West Coast in the last 11 outings. Turnbull hits it down in front. Richmond just holding it up again. Suiting them right down to the ground. West Coast had a dirty day here against Carlton, and it's not proving much better here this afternoon. Campbell, who's been terrific. Now Callaway. Callaway's kick up towards centre wing. Jakovic. McKenna was there. Evans takes it. Evans kicks towards half forward, and the mark is taken by Waterman. And with the breeze at his back, maybe not too far out to score. Good long roost. Certainly got the distance without any problems, Waterman, but only one behind. So he's kicked 1 goal 1. Out of the Eagles' tally of 7 goals 7. Richmond 12-14. 13 minutes left.
37 points is the advantage for Richmond. The kick in gathered by Kemp, not quite able to get the hand pass away. Evans wider still. In trouble was Pike. Now Matera tackled by Bauer. Good harassment provided by Bauer. Umpire not prepared to award a free kick one way or the other. He will throw it in the air, but from Richmond's point of view, great negative tactics there by Nathan Bauer. The ball bashed back towards the 50-metre line.
Coming back to free kick to Bond.
Is that unfair?
Well, the umpire says so. Simmons trying to shepherd to allow Kemp to go free. Yes. Bond was chasing Kemp. Simmons came in and the judge is going a little bit high and in the back of Bond. He's been pretty good all day too, Robbo. 13 and 6.
Oh, he's been a terrific player, Chris Bond, over ever since he crossed from
best and fairest last year.
We're going to see well, we may see a replay. No, we're not going to. Bond will go on with the play. His kick just holds up in the breeze. It lands well at half forward. No mark, but Worsfold receiving from Simmons. Worsfold's kick, well, to no one in particular. Out in front is Turner, attacking the football with great positive attitude there. Knights, his kick, taken there by Daffy. Daffy goes into goal, and that's rubbing salt into the wound. Oh, gee whiz, Nick Daffy's second goal, and it just came out of nowhere. Worsfold's kick to a vacant area on the wing. Turner attacks it and gets it to Daffy. This is terrific football by Richmond.
Yes, and Worsfold just acknowledging then, Robbo, to Chris Waterman, he should have kicked far more to the left rather than pushing out to that flank. And as you see, Daffy just on the end of that, he's just come onto the ground. What a way to come on and get your next touch.
Back to the centre. Deer. That was Daffy's second goal. Knights takes the little flip on. Around Worsfold. Goes at goal. Oh, he's kicked another one. So 11 Richmond players have now scored goals. And the Tigers here are well and truly home. 14-14 to 7-7.
I was just wondering whether he might have been pinged for running too far. But they're just good hands there. Gets around. He's taken quite a few steps.
Yes, could have been pinged, about 18 altogether.
Definite class there from Knights.
A couple was short. Maybe that's how he got away with it. So the Tigers on a roll now. 11 and a half minutes left in the match. The rain has stopped. The Eagles haven't, but it's Richmond who have led all day. Deer. Bond was being held by Kemp. Umpire lets it go. Rogers taken out by Evans. Good hip and shoulder bump. Got to try to get something happening. Worsfold's kick up towards left half forward. No mark taken. Burke taken out of the contest. Heady tries to get it out to his teammate in ball. Still he goes. Kicks across his body. And the mark is taken on 50 by Tony Evans.
Well, it'd probably test Evans, I would think. A couple of players in the last term have had trouble getting the distance from there. His kick lands in the goal square. A little push out.
Yes, that's...
I saw that.
Trying to emulate the Malcolm Blight nudge, but not subtle enough.
So it's against Heady to be taken by Callaway. Callaway's short kick. Mark is taken there by Scotty Turner. Can nearly come across to the near side of the ground. He will. Making good position is Rogers. He's done pretty well since he's come off the bench. Kick is okay. Mark taken by Jurica. Jurica somehow got the kick past Jakovic. It'll rebound back to Glenn Jakovic. Shows a bit of strength, not able to control the football. Ball comes clear. Maxfield tackled by Metropolis. Spills to Naish. Naish's kick is offline. And third behind. Kick by Chris Naish. Mitchell White has recovered from the ankle injury that we thought he may have incurred in the third quarter. The ball in the centre of the ground. Broderick, Campbell, lovely long hand pass. Hit his target with precision. Turner's kick, nearly marked by Bullis, knocked away by Mitchell White. Naish provides the pressure. Knights does well. In goes Waterman. And the umpire will be forced to throw it in the air. And Bullis in trouble off the ball.
After that marking contest, he landed rather awkwardly. Hart, the boundary line is closest. The umpire says throw it in. Gee, they wouldn't want to lose another tall player. It's his wrist, it looks like. Of course, Brendan Gale out. Richardson is missing for the season.
Tony free.
Tony free with a knee injury. Kemp, a little juggle. Hart does the shepherding for him. Kick to centre wing. Ball, a good mark.
It's been a shining light, really. 10th mark for Ball.
Offloads it back to Kemp. Onto Turnbull. Past Daffy. Long hand pass. Past just about everybody except Campbell. Evans pressuring. Picks it up right on the boundary line, Tony Evans. His hand pass wasn't good enough. Prescott, who's been terrific, had an excellent first half. Daffy comes in to lend assistance. The umpire will bounce it. And the cheers are for Bullis, who's coming off the ground. And Edwards comes back on. Under 9 minutes left in this match. The difference 50 points. So John Northey can take him off without worrying too much about it. It's going to be another ball up. I can assure you it's a lot lighter watching the match on television than it is actually here. The F-stop is down to about 2.8 or less. Not a happy chappy is Mick. Quick kick out of the pack. Bounces just inside the line. It beats Bond and Kemp over the line for a throw-in, about 65 metres from goal. Well, looking at them, you'd think they're being beaten. Coaches don't usually show too much emotion, do they, in the boxes? Deer and Turnbull, Kemp, Bond. Very educated kick just inside the boundary line. And Chris Bond limping as well.
He won't feel it quite as much as a few of the West Coast players.
Yep.
Turnbull wins it. Prescott, a little tap on. Rogers, who's done well since he came off the bench. That's out of bounds, and we'll see a throw in on centre wing just on 8 minutes left in the match. Let's go down to Dipper, who has some injury news for us.
Yes, Peter Bullis is in a bit of trouble down here. He's had his left wrist strapped heavily. It looks like he's sprained it and could have broken his wrist.
Well, you saw there the replays, wrist just underneath himself. He actually fell on it himself, and it's obviously buckled underneath there. So bad luck for Paul Bullis in the dying minutes of the game. Let's hope it's not as serious as Dipper is suggesting. The ball out of bounds, left forward pocket for Richmond. Jurica gets the front posse from Jakovic, then taps it into the path of Naish, then Daffy. Daffy scragged to the ground, ball spills over for a boundary throw-in. John Worsfold has had a pretty hard day back there in defence for the West Coast. Richmond by 50 points. They're more than doubled West Coast score. We've still got 7 3/4 minutes left. Again, the boundary umpire to come into play there in that forward pocket for the Tigers. Matthew Rogers started on the bench. Had 8 kicks and 3 handballs since coming on. Jakovic gets the front posse from Jurica, but Jurica working very hard. So is Nick Daffy. And now a free kick. It's Prescott, is it? Underneath that.
Yes.
Being awarded the free kick. Jakovic not too pleased with that decision. But he goes down here and really fell first. Didn't quite see that there was a free kick in it, maybe too high.
That's what the umpire said, Robbo, too high. So,
well, Prescott with the ball. Certainly the umpiring decisions have gone in Richmond's favour, but Neal with the ball in the pocket, runs away, gives away ground, over the top of Bauer, kicked off the ground by Matera, and it marked the 11th mark taken by Jason Ball. Handball back to Kemp. Kemp off the left foot, goes down the boundary line, looking for Heady. Matera able to gather, then handballs to his own advantage, looks for Heady. Oh, well done by Turner, that was strong work. Turner close to the line, eventually taken over, and the Richmond fans pretty happy with that. They don't mind seeing Peter Matera bundled over. But don't forget, Tiger fans, this is only early in June. Boundary throw in, attempted kick from mid-air by Prescott. Ball spills now for Scott Turner. Turner kicks over on the full. A wry smile. So the free kick will be taken down here in front of us by Tony Godden. Probably too far out to score, but he kicks it to the front of the goal square. Ball knocked away. Lewis, a little kick off the ground. Banfield gets it back to Evans. Evans kick fairly well ineffective. Lewis looks for Godden. Goes past that player. Rogers was good. And the Tigers lock it up at centre-half forward for the West Coast. And still they struggle. West Coast have managed only 7 goals, 7. 5-6 minutes left in the game. On the other hand, Richmond 14-15. 49 plays 99. So the Tigers, there's a kick by Pike. Goes across the face of goal. And a behind is scored for the West Coast. So now from their point of view, at least Richmond have not doubled their score. 99 plays 50 in the dying minutes of the game.
Kick out, rolls towards the line, and Gale. Matera has to beat 2 off them. Campbell paddles it underneath, and eventually it's knocked over the line for another throw-in. And we certainly tried Peter Matera. He was benched at one stage, which doesn't happen too often. Throw-in right on 50. Deer out the back, Kemp and Bond. Bond still limping a little bit. Kemp, or rather Pike, it was off the ground. Evans, a little give. Knights, Rogers fumbles. Pike again. Knights went backwards. Prescott does well. Touched by Jakovic. Tape ridden into the ground in that tackle. And it will be another bounce.
And that's right, but that's where a free kick should come, because the player was ridden into the ground from behind, even though he had the ball.
And if anything, the light a little bit on the improve. Jurica.
Glow from the Richmond fans, Pete.
Could be. McKenna. Bauer. Tackle is by McKenna. Bond comes in, so too does Kemp. It's all tied up again with the clock ticking down to 4.5 minutes remaining in the contest. Well, it's a pretty good performance from Richmond today, heralded by that excellent start when they kicked 5-6 with the breeze in the first term. Jurica knocks it down. Naish kicks across his body. One-on-one contest up there. Well, in the end, it was no contest. Edwards comes out and marks. He's had a stint on the bench. He came on just a few moments back to replace Bullis.
The advantage of being in front when you're kicking into the breeze.
Stuart Edwards for his second. 11 Richmond players have scored goals today. Shouldn't miss from there, and he hasn't. Edwards gets his second. He's kicked 2 goals, 2 out of the Tigers' tally of 15-15. And the lead increased to 55 points.
Yes, in the absence of Matthew Richardson, it's an opportunity for Edwards to try and really cement a spot in his side here. In the side, I should say. Just the 8 games last year. Tally of 39 in his career. So a good opportunity for Stuart Edwards to assert himself.
Well, Greg Deere still working tirelessly. Gets it clear for Rogers. Rogers kick into the forward line. Oh, great leap. Is that a mark? It's been paid. It was a terrific stretch by Edwards. Now a 50-metre penalty. So he must kick from right in front, because the West Coast player kicked the ball away as he was about to collect it. So nothing going right from the West Coast point of view. Edwards surely must kick his 3rd goal from the square, and he puts it through.
Puts it out of the ground.
3 goals to Edwards. Richmond 16-15, 111. They now lead by 61 points. So plenty of cheering from Tiger fans, but nothing much happening from the West Coast side of it.
Yes, and a new ball comes out. That's a Dunstalish mark.
Sure was.
A real catch there. And there was the 50. We just saw that as White just kicked that ball away in frustration. And Edwards kicked the ball out of the park, obviously looking for his car in the car park. Got a fresh ball.
3.5 minutes left in the match. 111-50. Edwards getting his 3rd goal. 2 in the last 30 seconds. Evans' kick should be marked by Bauer. Might have got a free kick as well. He plays on. Matera's got him. Campbell comes in to lend assistance. Almost a throw out to Broderick. Pike chases. Ineffective. Straight down the centre of the ground. No mark. Naish. A quick kick. It bounces. Through for a goal. He's kicked 3. Tigers certainly roaring now. 17-15 to 7-8. 3-3 to Chris Naish. Got the first goal of the game. And it might be the last as well.
Yes, and Broderick, who's had a terrific game, pushed the ball forward, and they've now got 4 multiple goal scorers, whereas the Eagles had to rely on Jason Ball with 4 goals out of their total of 7.
Well, terrific game by Chris Naish. I believe that his mother may be a little sick at home, but she'll get some sort of a fillip from this. A Tiger win and her son playing pretty well. Campbell down. Broderick tries to hack it out of the air. Waterman under pressure. Broderick productively gets it to Matthew Knights. Knights' kick to the goal front. It's a good kick. Mark nearly taken by Neal. Gathered by Edwards. It's another one to the Tigers.
4th.
Edwards has now kicked 4 to be the equal leading goal scorer on the ground with Jason Ball. But more importantly, Campbell is up on his feet, but have a look at this clash. Handball comes out, bang goes Evans on Campbell. And the ball finally cleared by Broderick. finishing with Edwards. Neil could have nearly been paid the mark. There's a blue between Burke and Jason Ball. Edwards got the goal for the Tigers.
So temper's becoming a little bit heated. Free kick taken by Greg Deere. Deere down towards half forward. Edwards dragged off the footy. Umpire lets it go. Tape goes in solidly to try to pick it up. Can't do so. Metropolis with the clearing kick towards the grandstand side. Bounce, a fickle one at that. Brennan back to Matera from left half back. Matera's kick up towards, well, left half forward. Ball bounced awkwardly for him. Might go off the ground. Oh, great pick up from Ball. Goes at goal. Will it bounce through? Yes, it does.
Hit the post, doesn't it?
Oh, it shaved the post on the way through.
Gee whiz.
Great pick up by Jason Ball. He's now kicked 4 goals, 3. I thought he might have kicked that off the ground, but a superb pick up. 7-9 to 18-15. It deserved better.
Yes, he's been a standout play for the Eagles today.
Oh, has he what?
Ball.
I think you used the term shining light. Well, we could take dual meanings from that today. This is Rogers. He started the game on the bench, but has done pretty well. Little nudge out there by Jakovic. Good use of the body. Good mark. Jakovic close to centre wing. Bond. Rogers again. Gives him good support. Waterman looking for options. Finds Kemp. No one there. He thought about the hand pass. Goes in short eventually. No mark taken on the forward line. Brennan, quick kick. Turner stands his ground and takes the mark.
Gee, their defence has been terrific, hasn't it? They've got some unheralded players back there, but they just work very, very well together. They eventually get it clear where Tape is prepared to take it over with Metropolis for a boundary throw-in. Well, the Tiger fans can celebrate tonight. It's been a magnificent performance. I think most of the so-called scribes, experts, whatever you like to call them, thought that without Richardson and Brendan Gale that they could go down. Tony Free out of the side.
Oh.
There's 2 of them in trouble there. Oh, terrible clash. Neild is in all sorts of trouble.
Neild and Tape.
Turnbull goes for goal for the West Coast. It'll bounce in the square. No, it won't. It's marked on his chest by Heady, and still Mark Neild is in all sorts of trouble. Let's hope he's okay. The stretcher is out. Brett Heady will kick a goal for the West Coast. But I think the interest should be back where the 2 Richmond boys flew for the mark.
Tape's all
Neild
right.
in lots of strife there. The camera work giving you a very good look. Heady goes for goal. Brett Heady kicks his first goal. And the West Coast get their 8th goal. Half a minute left. 8-9-57. 18-15, 123. Richmond lead. But, well, we may get another look here.
Well, Jamie Tape courageously went back, Robbo, but probably easy to say, but he perhaps could have allowed Bullis to Neild to come through.
And that's the scene with Neild still on the stretcher. There's only half a minute to go. Let's watch Tape going under the flight of the ball.
Forward on chin, and there's a gash on, a little bit of a gash and a bit of a boot unintentionally from Metropolis, but there's, I think, a gash on Neild's chin just there, which I think is where the forehead of Tape came. There it is, yep.
He'll have a decent old headache tonight. Let's take it again.
As I say, terribly courageous by Tape, but perhaps didn't really need to go there.
Ooh. Maxfield came onto the ground to replace him.
Yes, they've now got to take him right across the other side of the ground, Pete, to where their change rooms are, so there'll be a bit of a delay.
What's about the only downer from a Richmond point of view this afternoon, although I suppose Craig Bullis Paul Bullis going off earlier with what could be a potentially serious wrist injury. A clash of heads, the forehead and the chin, combining a decent old knock.
It's amazing too, when he was hit, when he hit the ground, because of the impact, he's hit the ground with not too much protection from arms. He's just, the whole body has just hit the ground, which probably made it look or made it feel worse than it could have been.
So not long left in the match. It's been a 7-goal final quarter for Richmond. 7 goals, 1 they've added. Less than half a minute remaining in the match now here at Optus Oval. Banfield from the centre bounce. Kicks up towards half forward. Callaway and Heady. Heady burst his way through the pack, snaps at goal. That looks pretty good. He's got it. It's his second goal, Brett Heady. 2 goals, 2 to the Eagle champ half forward. But just a little bit too late.
Yeah, it's pretty tough day at the office for Brett Heady. Callaway's been certainly one of the better players on the ground in my view here. Yeah, and they knock into each other, that's right, yeah. In fact, Callaway came away with a bit of a sore left shoulder out of that.
I think Heady could have come off with a sore head if he'd have been a little bit more accurate.
129 to 63. Only a few seconds remaining in this match now. And we've seen the Tigers lead just about from go to woe. It is nearly woe. In fact, there is the siren. Richmond recording their first win over the West Coast Eagles since 1989 in round 7 when they won out at Waverley. The Eagles had won the last 10 prior to today, but this afternoon it was Richmond set up for them by that magnificent first quarter when they kicked 5-6 to 1-1, and despite missing 2 class forwards in Richardson and Gale, they never looked back. Let's go down to the boundary line, and here's Dipper.
Thanks very much, Peter. Well, Chris, you've beaten the best, I say.
Yeah, well, I think they're the yardstick of the competition. It's a good one to knock them over today. Well, the boys done pretty well, yeah.
A very consistent side you've got here at the moment. In the last couple of weeks, it's been the last half you've kicked many goals.
Yeah, the boys have just stuck at it for 4 quarters, and we've just been aiming to win each quarter, and we've been winning the 4, so that's been good.
You don't mind hanging around the 4 pocket. You seem to be the best goal sneaker in the league at the moment.
Well, I'm sharpening a few that we're going all right, but the team's going very well at the moment anyway.
Okay, go enjoy. Well done, Chris.
Right, thanks, Dipper. And fantastic scenes here from a Richmond point of view. They've been down for many years, the Tigers, and as Chris pointed out, they are now the pace setters of the competition.
Listen to the crowd singing the Tigers theme song. It's fantastic stuff.
Well, that's the step up they had to make, wasn't it, Robbo, today to get over a very good side and give themselves even more confidence. I thought they may have lacked some goal kickers, but by gee, they share them around. And in the end, Edwards with 4, Nation just spoken to with 3, and they just had players all around the ground contributing. Needless to say, if you had to pick best players, which I have to, it's...
Good luck.
Well, thank you.
No, I think that's indicative, Ross, when you see a team that is pretty even all the way through.
Yep.
They usually come out on top, don't they?
Oh, yes, and that's what's been the beauty of the Eagles, for instance, Robert.
Yep,
their contribution across each line has generally been very good, and that's how they get their consistent form. So, well done, the Tigers.
So repeating the final score here at Optus Oval, Richmond 19-15, 129. Easy winners over West Coast in the end, 9-9, 63.